Left of the box. From the Toronto Star, it's just an overall explosion in homelessness. Encampment numbers in Toronto have more than doubled over last March. A snapshot of tents and structures in Toronto is trending closer to pandemic spring numbers, according to City Hall data. And so we just saw that global news article. A lot of people are becoming unhoused in Toronto because rent there is just unattainable. But if that's where your job is, if that's where your family is, like, you can't move hours away from town if you have a job there. It was the tents at Roundtree Mills Park that caught the eye of the veteran Toronto outreach worker, Diana Chan McNally. She'd never seen an encampment here by the banks of the Humber River north of Finch. Yet, as of mid-March, at least 3 tents were erected in the Riverside green space deep in the northwest Toronto. To Chan McNally, it's yet another symptom of ballooning crisis, as city data shows the number of tents in ravines, parks, and under bridges is more than double last spring's count. And I've shown plenty of videos on here before of how brutal the police and security are when they go to remove these tents. They just pack them up and throw them in the garbage like they're nothing, when that's people's whole lives are in there. And I feel like I always have to explain it. It's not just junk that they have with them. When you're unhoused, the things you have with you are things you need for your immediate survival, or things that have such a strong sentimental value for you, you can't part with it. That's it. There's no room for anything else. And so when somebody comes along and just throws that out, they're throwing away a part of you if it's the sentimental things, and then they're throwing away the things you need to survive, which you have to hope then is redonated to you in most cases. If not, you might not be able to survive. They keep on saying, oh, well, we give them options. There's all these other places they can go. And again, I'm constantly having to explain. If somebody chooses to be in a tent encampment, they're choosing the least worst option. If they're not taking the city up on what the city is offering, there's a reason other than they're choosing to stay in the park.
Yeah, no, and it's the same here in Nova Scotia, where our tent encampments are getting bigger in Halifax, and there's more tent encampments popping up, and the public sentiment has been getting very, once again, scapegoating them into saying that they shouldn't be there at all, and that it's bad enough they let them be there for as long as they are, and then when they try to build tiny homes like pallet housing that the provincial government has said they wanted to set up, when wherever they try to put it, the local neighbors get mad and say, why is it here? We don't want these homeless people here. All they do is do drugs and yell profanities, and they make us feel unsafe, and we don't want them here. Take them somewhere else.
Mhm.
Well, that's like the complete opposite way to look at it. And I know, like, people try to use their fear of homeless people as an excuse, but uh, I'll say that being in Vancouver for a long time, I lived in near downtown East Side, where there's the biggest concentration of homeless people within Canada. Um, and people just are trying to survive. They're not
Mhm.
going out of their way to harass people or um, hurt people or be a nuisance. They're trying to survive. Like, when
Mhm.
you're first level of Haslow's hierarchical needs, food, shelter, um, clothing, comfort, all of that is in jeopardy at any moment. You're not thinking about social cues and what other people are thinking about how you are, because that's not your headspace. So it, it it's not helping the situation when people think that way. So we need to start having a better grasp of people are going through and how to help them, and recognize where they're at and meet them where they're at, rather than have expectations of them, and using those expectations they're not meeting to say, well, "No, we don't want you around us, so you don't get to have these homes.
Mhm.
Go be homeless somewhere where we
Yeah.
can't see you."
Yeah. Just out of sight, out of mind to a lot of people. Just a little bit more from this article. So, some of the growth comes from more concentrated downtown locations, such as the mass of tents in Clarence Square Park, but smaller camps have also arisen in further flung corners, such as Milken Park and in Scarborough and in the parklands along with West End Humber River. It's a situation that points to an ever rising desperation, advocates and city officials say, and the urgency of creating affordable homes as a way to reverse course. It's just an overall explosion in homelessness, Chan McNally said. And again, when we say affordable, we mean they need to be affordable. You know, people who are living on disability or Ontario Works need to be able to afford these places in order for them to be affordable because so too often we're left and you know, it is the idea of we don't want to be able to see you because we don't want to see your suffering. We don't want to see you as you dwindle away into nothing because you don't have the supplies you need to live. They just want us to go away. So,
And it's one of those things that we as society have, yet to have our reckoning with, is just how comfortable society is at disregarding people with disabilities
mm,
or disabled people. Um, it you know, it's it, the day will come, when society's gonna have to reckon with just how eugenical it is.
yeah. And like people even try to hide their tent encampments too. Like they try to find, a lot of people try to find places that are out of the way, and then that's not even good enough. It doesn't matter. So this here is the number of known tents and other makeshift camp structures according to City Hall data, toggle between the years type thing. So in 2021, and got 2022, 2023, and boom, 2024.